moratorium. I'm not saying that I think Danny's suggestion of Public Works is also an excellent idea. Just saying that as an example of what we've done in the past. I think oftentimes we can get a sense when we think something is going to attract a lot of people and we make the decision to move, you know, elsewhere where we can accommodate the people. You know, would we also, I mean, we can't limit people's
You froze, Jackie. Where did she go?
I got bounced.
Oh,
Sorry.
Jackie.
I don't know. I was there and then I wasn't. This is whatever, the airwaves aren't working so great this morning.
No, they're not.
Is there a
what,
way
what I was going to say, I'm going to get rid of my video. So there, I was going to say that you can't limit people's access based on whether they're vaccinated or not, but we could certainly do the temperature thing. And we could certainly invite everybody, that anybody who wants to enter into this space does need to be masked. We can require that, because we can require that, you know, we can require that to everybody without discriminating against anybody. So that would seem to me to be.
Is there a way we
Yes,
could,
Pat?
Is there a way we could continue with Zoom, even from City Hall, you know, and for the public that want to continue being present over Zoom, you know?
You know, I've been participating in Rotary for the past, well, for more than the past year, but we were meeting until last Thursday. We met by Zoom. And the reason why I bring that up is we were doing movable meetings. There were some in person. And so we would, like, for example, we went to the Boys and Girls Club and there were several of us there, but there was also a computer set up with Zoom. And so people could Zoom in to that number. Of course, you don't hear as well because all of the sound is going through this one little laptop computer. If we were in the boardroom, people would be able to watch the live stream, but of course that would prevent any participation with respect to public comment or anything like that. And I don't know, you know, what the manager's thoughts are or anybody else's.
It was just a thought.
Yeah, it's certainly a good concept. I think the county has been doing that or attempting to do that. I don't know of our technological capability to provide that service. We would have to check into it and see if we could do that. I know it's not going to be as good as in person for the viewer, but it would still provide access if we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can, you know, I guess the thing to do is look into it a little further, but that would certainly offer people the opportunity to, if they wanted to try to participate. But the truth of the matter is, if we are in the boardroom, we're able to live stream, and then you're going to get really, it's going to be clear visually and you're going to be able to hear. But if somebody wanted to be part of public comment, I think the smarter thing would be to make arrangements to come in.
Yeah, if there's,
or submit the public comment in writing and it could be read.
if you limit the capacity, I don't see a problem with having it in the boardroom. But you obviously, like anything else, you have to limit the capacity.
But if we move to had it in City Hall and move to and capacity became overwhelming, we could always move down to the auditorium with a mere note on the door.
Yeah.
I mean, so that gives you an option if things get too big. I mean, but I doubt we have any issues.
I just think it's very important that the public can participate if they want to. It's a public meeting, you know, we're supposed to be open and transparent. And I think, as Joan Robinson said yesterday, it's very hard for some people. Some people don't have the capability of the technology of Zoom or computers or iPhones. And for those people, I think it's very important that we open up again as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So that given those points made, but I also have a concern of limiting the capacity, because when you're trying to be open, you don't want to limit to who is able to come and who is not. So one of the questions that I would have for the manager and staff would be if you can actually go up and assess the boardroom versus the auditorium versus the public works building that Danny mentioned in terms of options. Like if we met in the boardroom, do board members feel like, since we have all been vaccinated, we could be up at the dais together and not separated? Or do we have to be up, if we're up at the dais, do we have to be masked? I think assessing objectively the conditions that each location offers in terms of how the board wants to be, and then the spacing of staff and people who make up the audience. So what would be the capacity of each of those spaces? So then we could more objectively evaluate which one would be the best in terms of offering the most opportunity for the public. Certainly the boardroom offers live streaming, which no other location does, but the boardroom most likely has the lowest capacity. Is that a reasonable way forward, Alan?
Oh, yeah, we would be doing that anyway.
Um,
But yes, we'll check that and see what the capacity looks like and provide y'all with that information. And Mayor, you might want to lead the initiative amongst the board as to what their parameters are that you just went over.
Right,
Well, we were all in close proximity yesterday at the luncheon. So I think that answers one question.
All of us weren't there.
That's right.
Sorry.
So what is, just let's go ahead, because we've got 5 people here right now. What is your knee jerk? We don't hold you to this, but starting with Pat, what is your knee jerk reaction with respect to spacing and seating for board members?
Oh, I'm comfortable with that.
Because we've all been vaccinated?
Yes.
Okay. And John?
I'm very comfortable with that. Yeah.
Okay, Pat, I cut you off. I apologize.
I was just gonna say, if in the event we were gonna do anything, it will be maybe some plexiglass petitions, but I don't think we need that.
No.
Okay, so
My
we've got,
cotton faith.
okay. How about you, Teresa? What are your thoughts?
I had a cough when you guys first met me. I still have a cough, and I will probably continue to wear a mask just because I have a cough. Everyone thinks, that something's going on. Anyway, so, but I don't think we should assume that everyone's been vaccinated either. I mean, so I truly believe that people just need to do whatever is comfortable for them, and nobody should think anything one way or the other. I mean, a lot of us don't have enough time to tell everything about us that needs to be told. I mean, so,
No, That is absolutely true. And I hope everybody feels safe in this environment. This is not the kind of discussion where anybody should be saying anything for group happiness. It should be
Right.
whatever
Personal-
you feel at the core is the most appropriate. That would be the
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah, your personal feelings, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who sits beside me?
Me,
John.
Is that you, John?
yes,
And,
I do.
and Danny.
Yeah,
No,
I sit beside you, then
I
Danny.
don't sit, but Teresa's on the end and somebody that comes up to make public comment is beside her. And you don't know if
Exactly.
they're vaccinated or not.
Exactly.
But how far, I can't remember, how far is that podium?
It's
Well,
not
I'm-
6
I'm-
feet.
Well, I'm gonna wear my mask until I get tired of wearing it.
Then I
that's-
would have stopped a long time ago.
So I am,
I understand that.
anyway,
That's a great point about the podium. I'm really glad we're having this conversation. That's an
I am
excellent point.
fine. No, I'm fine where my seat is. Don't move me. I
We
mean,
may
so,
move the podium if we can.
I'm sorry, what, Alan?
And we may move the podium if we can to another location that's away.
Or you could,
So,
you
distance
could
from
just
everyone.
move it more towards that first row. Excuse me, more towards the first row and tilt it so that it's kind of more facing the board. And that would be, so generally Dr. Fauci says, and I am not trying to influence, I'm just saying what I have heard over repeated different interviews and panels and things, that it's 15 minutes or more, which is why of exposure. So that's why they're loosening things. So it would, and we could consider if we wanted to put plexiglass around the podium. But that is certainly a thought. So then Ron, what are your thoughts?
I don't have a problem with what's been suggested so far. To me, moving the podium is possible. I don't see putting plexiglass around it or anything like that.
yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't, that's tacky.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about being up there on the dais with other board members?
Oh, I'm fine. I got Alan on one side and Pat on the other.
Okay.
so
Okay, okay, you
they'll
just
get
went
the
out
germs
for
before I
Matt.
do.
I am not hearing people very well. I heard you say that you were fine.
Yes.
Okay. Danny, what are your thoughts?
I'm fine going back to City Hall. If you're gonna have 6 foot separation, you cannot do that with the entire board at the dais. I mean,
That's
you're 2 feet from each person at the most.
Right.
But I don't see any need in plexiglass. I mean, I've been vaccinated and I'm fine going back up there, but I'm not speaking for everybody else.
Right. And that's of course why I'm asking, is because if we have board members, and of course we'll double check with Quan and CJ, but if we have board members that are not comfortable being up on the dais with one another, then that immediately affects the spacing in the boardroom. Because, I mean, I'm not sure if the county board members are sitting on their dais or if they're spread around in their auditorium or not, but that does change. So we just have to have a sense of what our board is comfortable with to even keep the boardroom in play. And it may be that those that are not here today would rather not be on the dais, in which case we need to look at other spaces most likely. Does anybody have any additional thoughts that they want to? Yes, ma'am.
I was just gonna say that right now we should say we tentatively are going back in person in June. As to far as to locations, that will be established at a later date after the manager and whomever can do some looking at various entities and see which one would best accommodate us and follow the guidelines set out by the CDC and would allow public participation. That was a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're not making any decision right now. I just kind of wanted to get some input from the people that are on this call right
Yeah.
now, just so that we could feed that into the hopper.
Yeah.
That absolutely, absolutely will. So, and I will, like the manager suggested, I will reach out to those who are not here to hear what their thoughts are. And we'll look forward to the manager and staff getting a little more concrete, objective information about what the capacities and thoughts are for each of the 3 locations, or if there's some other thought. Anything else that anybody wants to add right now?
I mean, unless we're really, really concerned about transmission, and we should be, but I don't think we should be changing location. I mean, because it reeks of the same thing that happens when we change our voting precincts. It just throws people off and causes all levels of confusion. So I think if anything, let's stick, I mean, as best as we can, unless there's something really, really big going on that we should
Oh, you've frozen.
probably change our location. Just make it work within City Hall somehow or another,
Yeah.
versus changing locations. It confuses people.
Okay, Teresa, you are definitely freezing up. The last thing I heard was it confused. I think what I captured was make it work in City Hall if at all possible, because it confuses people to have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So-
If there's any flip flop, it causes confusion, even for future meetings, whether you plan to go there or not. I mean, if you do it
Yeah.
once, ooh, it's.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Good comments. Ron or Danny, do you have anything you want to add?
I've already said what I need to, and I've got a
Yeah.
phone call waiting on me, so I need to depart.
You need to bounce. Okay, that's fine.
The only thing
Thank
I would like
you.
to add would be a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least, but thank you for this little bit of conversation. We've got a motion by Danny. Ron
Second.
has evacuated. Yes, ma'am.
Second that.
Did Pat have something? You second that? Okay, I've got to do the roll call. So Pat, what's your vote?
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Teresa,
What if I said no?
would go down as a
You'll be here
no.
by yourself.
Yes, it's time to
Okay,
go.
And Danny,
Absolutely.
Cindy, you can vote that Ron voted with his leave button because he had to go take a call. And with that, we stand adjourned. Thank you for the discussion, though. We needed to have it. And I'm sure something will be coming from City Hall with information.
Everybody
about
have a
this.
great day. Have a
Yeah.
good day.
Thank you, and congratulations, Cheryl. Bravo, well done. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care.